So, we're here to talk about procrastination today. And I'm wondering what it means to you. Like, when I say procrastination, what do you think about? What does that like mean to you?
Quite a few things. So I do have a funny procrastination story,
Give it to me.
and so I think about 2 months ago on your Instagram stories, you had put up, "Hey, if there was one ADHD trait you would like to do away with, what would it be?"
Yeah.
And immediately, so there was, I think I'm a little bit older than you, but there was a famous song in the '80s called "Infatuation." And so I'm gonna sing a little bit, but it's like infatuation. Woo! Sorry to offend Rod Stewart if he's
That's
out there.
amazing.
But so when you put that poll out there, I thought to myself immediately. I said, "Procrastination." Woo! And so yeah, for me, that's probably one of the biggest things that I
Yeah.
have. One of the biggest
Oh,
symptoms that
wow.
I deal with,
Yep.
and it's just that constant there. And
Mm,
at first, I think, and I can point to so many examples,
yeah.
but that's one of the things now when it comes up. I know that it's sort of a trauma response.
Oh, tell me more. What do you mean by that?
Well, that I'm not going to be good enough. That whatever I
Mm,
do isn't going to matter. It's not going
yeah.
to be the right thing. It's going
Yeah.
to be wrong. I'm going to be disappointed. Something along those lines.
Or someone else might be disappointed in me.
Someone might be disappointed in me. Someone might think less of me. They might
Yeah.
look at you and say, "Oh, that's what you thought,"
Yeah.
and like judge you in some way.
Mm,
So sometimes it's better to be left in those thoughts in your head rather than, at least
yeah.
that's how I used to think. Now I
Sure.
don't think this that way.
Wow. So, how do you, when you look back on your life, how do you see procrastination's impact? Like, what's the earliest memory that you have of procrastinating?
Um,
Was it like childhood?
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
could take you back to, I would remember school reports that would be due like the next day, and we
Yep.
needed to get contact paper to seal up
Oh,
like a
yes.
collage.
Sure.
And it would be 7 o'clock on Sunday night, and I would tell my parents. And I remember one time they're like, "Well, there's no place we can't go anywhere to get it."
Right.
So I'm like, "Okay." So I used Saran wrap, and I went to school the next day with everyone has their nice laminated notebooks or whatever we were working on, and
Yes.
mine's done in Saran wrap.
That's amazing. It's a like it's endearing and it's funny and I'm laughing, but what was the emotional experience for you as a kiddo?
Oh, just like
Was it shame
I
or
was just, yeah. I think if I had to look back on it, it was that it was I didn't want to ask for.
yeah.
I grew up in a not a huge family, but we had 5 kids. There were 5 of us. So, and I had 3 sisters, and
Mm.
so that they kind of took a lot of the attention from my parents.
Mhm.
So I was fourth out of 5. I was the
Okay.
second boy, and so it was hard for me to have that voice to ask for what I
Yes.
needed. That's what it was, to ask for what I needed. I just
Wow.
did not have the voice to do that.
Do you think that impacts us in a way that makes us procrastinate? Like the fear of asking for what we need?
I don't know if that's exactly, definitely it correlates for sure.
Sure.
I don't know if it's exactly that, and
Yeah.
if there's a few things
Yeah.
tied to that. But that it's definitely had an impact for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the ways, like more recently that you've seen yourself procrastinate?
Yeah.
Like you are much more self aware, you have an ADHD diagnosis, you're being treated, you're a coach, you're taking self development seriously. So are you free of procrastination or does it still show up for
No,
you?
absolutely. I
Tell
mean,
me, give me the juicy
it's
stories.
well, there's one on and I won't share into too much details, but I've been working on I was previously married.
Mm,
We had been working on a custody arrangement now for
wow.
several years,
Yep.
and I look back to one of the things that I'm like, gosh, if I just would have hired that lawyer maybe 2 weeks earlier. And of course, in our minds, it always works out. Like if I
Of
did
course, it
that,
would have been
it would have
perfect.
been, everything
Yeah.
would have worked out great. So
Yeah.
now I've come around to understanding that maybe this is just what would have happened anyhow.
That's good. Oh, there's so much peace in that, isn't there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think thinking the other way,
Yeah.
like if I did it this way, it
torture.
would have been, everything would have worked out.
Yeah.
And, we can't control that. We can only
Yeah.
control, the now. And it took a
good.
long time for me to get there.
Sure.
But that's something that I just always have to remind myself that, maybe this is just what it would have been.
Yeah.
No matter if I did hire someone 2 weeks before.